still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Brian Giles with Brian Giles MTG. And hoo-ha, we just got today our first Magic the Gathering, the Hobbit spoilers for the Magic the Gathering crossover with the Hobbit set. So this is our second delve into the world of Middle Earth. So we're going to start, and we're kind of quickly go through the full art lands. So we have the white plains, the blue island, the swamp, of course, kind of the whole mountain setting. And a forest, because we're going through Mirkwood Forest, and the spiders are here because you can see them. And these are called the party lands because the members of the party are all seen in the frames. So these were cards that were premiered at the initial reveal of the Hobbit set way back in like May at MagicCon Vegas. So this is Unexpected Party. So 2 white and 2. It's an enchantment, but it has an adventure on it called At the Door. So a white, a 2, and X for a sorcery adventure that creates X red dwarf creature tokens, because dwarves are going to be a big thing here. As this enchantment enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +2/+2. And if you're choosing dwarves, all your dwarves are going to be bigger. So, ho-ha. And if you created a bunch of dwarves with your adventure here, you're gonna have a lot of 4/4 dwarves running around. Now, I didn't like the way they named this card. These are the 3 trolls that the party comes across along the way, and they get captured by the trolls. And they're mountain trolls. Their names are Tom, Bert, and they used William, but it is in the books, I believe it's used Bill. At least that's and it's always referred to as Bert, Bill, and Tom. William is Bill's the leader, but that's the way that they're always described in the books. So it's a black, a green, and 3 for a 5/5 legendary creature troll. Pay 1 and sacrifice another creature. Draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power, then discard a card. When Bert, Bill, and William die, if they weren't a creature, they return to the battlefield. They're an artifact because they're represented as turning to stone when the sun comes up and Gandalf arrives. Next up is this set's version of The Ring. In Lord of the Rings, it was the One Ring, but this is My Precious. This is Gollum's Ring. So it's 3 generic for an artifact equipment. that has an adventure on it. The Allure of Power. So black and 1 for instant reads an additional cost to cast a spell. Sacrifice a creature to draw 2 cards. But it's in black, and you're always sacrificing creatures in black. But as a power thing, when you equip it, equipped creatures has hexproof and can't be blocked. It's pretty powerful in itself for 3 mana. But its equip cost is kind of pricey. You pay 2 and 2 life. But if you're putting it on something like a creature that has lifelink on it, you could probably gain that life back pretty quickly. So, hoo-ha! We have Riddles in the Dark because of the riddle war between Bilbo and Smeagol. Or Gollum, as he's more accurately known in the Hobbit books. So blue and 2 for instant that reads, look at the top 4 cards in your library. Separate them in a face-down pile, face-up pile. Opponent chooses one of the piles. Put that pile into your hand, the other in the graveyard. So that's really powerful. 3 mana, you get 2 cards out of a choice of 4. Yeah, you're getting some value there. So hoo-ha. We got Wood Elves. It's some cards from Alpha. We're going to be seeing some other cards from that set. So a green and 2 for a 1/1 Elf Scout. When it enters, search your library for a forest card. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So it's a land tutor. Hoo-ha. This is Bilbo Luckwearer. Now he also comes in a different frame, in the Dragon Horde frame. But he's a blue and 1 for a 1/1 legendary halfling rogue. He's got an expensive burglar's plot adventure at a blue and 4, but you can exchange control of 2 target non-land permanents that share a card type. He can't be blocked, and whenever he deals combat damage to a player, draw a card and discard a card. So he has a filter ability on him, and he can exchange stuff. Next up, we come to the headliner card of the set in Smaug the Magnificent. So the base form is a 2 red and 2 for a 4/3 legendary dragon with flying and haste. When he attacks, he deals damage equal to the number of treasures you control to any target. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a treasure token. This guy is kind of like a budget version of Goldspan Dragon. But speaking of gold, he comes in this headliner version gold frame form that I believe they said it was 250 total ones of these in this gold frame. So he's going to be incredibly hard to find. Then you have the Arkenstone, the thing that the dwarves want Bilbo to look for, because this is kind of like the the artifact that recognizes whoever holds it is like the king of the dwarves, like the dark saber for the Mandalorians in the Star Wars universe. So it's 5 mana for a legendary artifact. Seek the Heart. Sorcery Adventures, you can search your library for a legendary creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. So it's a legendary creature tutor, and it gives your creatures +1/+1. At the beginning of your end step, you draw a card. So you get an anthem and card draw. Just for the artifact, not including the adventure side of it. So hoo-ha! We got Bilbo, Thief in the Night, a blue and 1 for a 2/2 halfling rogue. Spells you cast from anywhere other than your hand cost 1 generic less to cast. When he attacks, you may cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell from your graveyard. If an instant or sorcery spell would be cast this way, you put it into cast this way would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. So kind of like a finality counter on it for. We've got Thorin, Mountain King, a red and 3 for a 3/4 dwarf noble. He has trample, which is pretty nice. And when he enters, attach any number of target equipment you control to a creature you control. When one or more equipment become attached to that creature this way, that creature deals damage equal to its power to up to 1 target creature. I'm just gonna equip Excalibur, Colossus Hammer, and the Buster Sword to my Thor. Yeah. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. And of course, this is one of the comic book, the book arts. That's one of the alternate arts for it. Next up, this is the first of the Dwarven language cards. This is Arcane Signet. Again, we know what Arcane Signet does. You tap it to add 1 mana of any color to your commander's color identity. And next up, we have Return of the One Ring. There is a lot of down talk about that because they used the previous image of the One Ring for this thing, and it wasn't really well received for that. But still, it's another One Ring. So it's an artifact for 4 generic. It's legendary artifact with the indestructible. It enters. If you cast it, you gain protection from everything to your next turn. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose a life for each burden counter on the One Ring. And you can tap it to draw a card, and then for each burden counter on it. So you put a burden counter on it, and then you draw a card, and you lose life for how many burden counters are on it. So that's the One Ring. We all know what that does. Highly sought after. That's both the Arcane Signet and the One Ring are going to be in box topper packs, along with this card, Tom Bombadil, which is a better depiction of Tom Bombadil. It actually depicts him as he's described in the book. He has a blue jacket, a red cap, and bright yellow are his boots. So, Wooburg, white, blue, black, red, green for a 4/4 God Bard. As long as there are 4 or more Lord counters among sagas you control, Tom Bombadil has hexproof and indestructible. Whenever the final chapter ability of a saga you control resolves, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a saga card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. This ability triggers only once each turn. So he's going to be fun. There's going to be more sagas in this deck. So it's going, Tom Bombadil is absolutely going to be useful again. We got Sauron the Dark Lord, again another box topper. So 3 generic blue, black, red for a 7/6 avatar, legendary avatar horror. It's got ward, sacrifice a legendary artifact or legendary creature. When an opponent casts a spell, amass Orcs 1. Whenever an army you control deals combat damage to a player, the ring tempts you. And there's a whole thing about the ring tempting you. Whenever the ring tempts you, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 4 cards. And we'll have some more amass spells, so we'll have more armies to deal with in the main set of the Hobbit. Okay, next up is one of the cards from the Crack the Plate scene box. Now, these scene boxes are absolutely 100% goated. Put your orders in early for these because they are going to go wild. First up, we have Gandalf Party Guest at a generic blue, red, and white for a 3/4 legendary avatar wizard. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value X or less from your hand without paying its mana cost, where X is twice the number of legendary wizards you control. So just him playing as himself, he can play from your hand a instant or sorcery spell with mana value 2 or less. Yeah, that's gonna go over well. Next up, we have Bag and Banquet. It's an artifact for a beefy 6 mana, but what it does, when this artifact enters, create 3 food tokens. So basically 3 times 2. Yeah. And you can tap it to add colorless mana for each food you control. This in a food-based deck in Ygra is gonna go bonkers. Next up we have Philly and Killy Joyous. So a red and 2 for a 3/3 legendary dwarf bard with haste. That's not bad for dwarves, but you can tap them to add 2 red mana, and you can only spend this mana to cast a dwarf equipment or saga spells. Yeah. They work nicely in Tom Bombadil, dwarf decks, dwarf equipment decks. Hoo-ha! Then we have Ori Plate Stacker. Now he's kind of beefy, but what he does is off the chain. So 2 white and 5, so 7 mana. He's only a 3/3 legendary dwarf bard, but when he enters, destroy all artifacts and enchantments your opponent's control, and you gain a life for each permanent destroyed this way. So one of your opponents is playing Urzatron or a Shrine deck. Say goodbye to all of that, and you gain life for all of that. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Then we have Thorin, King of Durin's folk, and this will be my last one, and that's the last of the scene box. So he's 5 mana, 3 generic, a red or a white for a 4/4 dwarf noble. When Thorin or another dwarf you control enters, create a treasure token. Other dwarves you control get +1/+0 for each artifact token you control. So hoo-ha! Yes. All, yes. Well, it's over 21 minutes. We're gonna see you on the next video.